Hello everyone, welcome to the second video with the GNS Fortinet lab setup. So once again, I apologize for the delay. It's actually been 3 days since I recorded the earlier video. Blame it on just being a little bit busy, and also the fact that my new laptop stinks. Anyways, but here we go. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to download, install, and configure GNS3. All right. So let me go ahead and get out of PowerPoint here. Let's stick that down there in the taskbar. And I already have VMware Station loaded. So I installed it, got it licensed up, and as you can tell, there's nothing in here so far. I am starting with a blank slate. So the first place you're going to go is GNS3's website. So let's do a www.gns3.com. All right, there we are. And you're going to click free download. Now they ask you to sign up, and that is fine. They won't spam you as long as you uncheck that guy right there. And I went ahead and logged in so I could also participate with the forums and things like that. It's not a bad gig. So, but once you do, you'll be taken straight to the download page, and then you pick your poison, which OS that you are running. So I am going to pick Windows because that's the OS that I'm on. All right, it says thank you. And I will go ahead and put that in my downloads folder. And it is a little bit big, about 54 megs. So I'll go ahead and let that download. And also they mentioned that they have partnered with SolarWinds to give you some free tools. That is fine. You can accept those free tools during the installation process. Just remember that SolarWinds will pretty much send you 4 or 5 emails a day, right? But we all know that by law you have to have an option to unsubscribe, so you can't unsubscribe when the first 10 emails come in. But that's going to be up to you. I'm actually not going to install the SolarWinds tools there. So also on the front page, right when you load up the website, there is an option to see a video. Now I'm signed in, so it took me here, but I highly recommend that you guys watch the little what is GNS3 video. So they just kind of go into an overture there. But here we go. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and start the installation process. All right, welcome to GNS3. I'm going to hit next. Uh, read this super fast. Yep, totally agree with the user license. You guys probably didn't know I was a speed reader. All right, here we go. Also, it does install a suite of products here, okay? And that is normal just to make it work. So just roll with it. It'll be all right, I promise you. All right. Now it's saying, where do you want it to be installed? Now, I actually made a folder on my D drive, which is my larger drive for GNS3, so I can keep everything in one spot. So here we go. All right. I can hit install. Now it says that WinCap is already installed. That was for another program, so I'm going to sit OK to install over it. That is cute. I have not seen that before. We'll just go ahead and hit ignore. It's already installed. Hit finish. And it looks like Wireshark doesn't want to download. Cute. All right. So I guess I will be installing Wireshark later. I'll keep the errors in just so you know if you guys come up with the errors too, we'll know how to fix them. All right. I was not expecting that one though, because essentially I've never gotten that error before. So as you can see, it's downloading SolarWinds response timer. All right. And this is where you register to use that tool. Now, if you do not want SolarWinds to spam you to death, just hit cancel here. They'll be like, "Are you sure it's worth $200?" Well, whatever. You know what? I'll just do it just for kicks. So here we go. I know how to unsubscribe to email, and I'll hit next. Sure. All right, there we go. Okay. Now the rest of GNS3 is installing. Here it's saying, we can't find Wireshark. You want to help us out here? We're going to have to install Wireshark manually. So That is fine. I'll hit next. Do you want to get the toolkit? Oh, sure, why not? There we go. So it loads up, it says, woohoo, sign up for your free toolkit. Let us spam you to death. Which, it is a pretty cool tool if you guys want to check it out. So not required. So I am not going to start GNS3 simply because I had that error about Wireshark. I feel pretty confident that we could download Wireshark manually before it starts up. So the error message itself simply said that it was not able to connect. So download Wireshark. Shark. There we go. All right. Now, the reason why Wireshark is nice is because you'll be able to sniff any connection in the interface itself. So um, it's one of those things where I'd say it's not a requirement not to have it installed because that's one of the benefits of having GNS3 is that we can dissect our topologies um, through all the different layers of the OSI model. So that's just going to take a moment to download itself. All right, looks like it's crunching along. While that is happening, I am going to pop over to my D drive to show you guys the GNS3 folder. All right, so it downloads a lot of stuff here to get it working. Okay, but at least I know it's in one spot and all is right with the world. Okay, not too bad. And also, this is my almost terabyte drive for my storage. And also, I am rocking an i7 with 4 cores, 8 logical, and 32 gigs of RAM. And you're going to want those kind of resources to be able to dish them out right to the virtual machine. So here we go, Wireshark, I agree. Sounds good. Okay, hit next. All right, sounds good, sounds good. I had a weird error with the WinP cap, so I'm going to go ahead and reinstall it if it needs it. I do not need the USB one. So there we go. Not too bad. Maybe one day, by the way, guys, I'll record these videos with a whole bunch of editing so you don't have to watch me stare at the screen. So I wonder if it'll give me that same error. Oh my gosh, it did. That is awesome. Retry, retry. I hope that doesn't kill everything. Anyways, we'll see. I'm not too sure. All right. There we go. We'll hit next. You must reboot your computer. Oh, maybe I'll do that later. So we're not going to be doing any packet sniffing anyways in this first part here. We're just setting up GNS3. So when you first load up GNS3, all right, it's going to essentially start this setup wizard, okay? And it's asking you, how do you want to run this? Now, GNS3 was made originally for Cisco products. That's why you see this focus on Cisco. So first it's saying, do you want to run it using the VM machine? All right. And I promise you guys, you want, if you're running Windows or Mac, to run it with this first option, nesting that VM. That way we have hardware acceleration using KVM. All right. If you're running this on Linux, it should just be able to run on its own. It should not have to have that middleman like VMware workstation. All right, so I'm going to hit next. It simply says, where's your server? All right, and when it comes here where it says host binding, I'm getting an APIPA address, and that's probably because I'm not wired in, and that's fine. I am just going to use my loopback. I believe that should work. And that's just to talk to the GNS server, which is going to be essentially the local server on my machine. So, all right. Now this popped up and said, you know what? We reached out to VMware or VirtualBox and we could not find a VM with that name, GNS3 VM. And that is fine. I did that on purpose. And the reason why is because we're going to download the GNS3 VM right now. So click here to download. It will take you straight to the download file. So you do not have to go searching for it. All right. It's a little bit bigger. It's going to be about 317 megabytes big. Okay. So it's going to take a couple of minutes to download that. But while I am talking, there's one thing that I want to mention. So when this eventually happens and we're going to import it into VMware, there are going to be some pre-configured settings with it, right? So it's going to have its own resource allocations. It's going to have its own NIC setup already. And I found out the hard way, you do not touch those settings, all right? You just let the VMware image just practically live. And then if you want to allocate resources, you actually do it through the setup wizard. You don't do it through the hypervisor itself. So also, this is a good time to mention that they did partner with VMware. So if you are interested in purchasing Workstation Pro or Fusion, you can get a 20% off. So not too bad. Or if you're feeling venturous enough, you can just use ESXi, which I believe you can use over and over again for 90 days. So anyways, it looks like there's just a few more minutes. So I am actually going to pause it and just let this finish downloading. Okay, guys? All right, that was quick, haha. There's 2 seconds left. There we go. So it's just now verifying the download. So I'm going to come up here, and as you can see, we have now a zipped virtual machine to import into VMware. So I'm going to go ahead and just extract it here. All right. Okay. And then, as you guys can see, it's just a simple OVA. So we double click. I also have VirtualBox here. I'm going to use Workstation. Here we are. And now it's saying, okay, I see you want to import an image. Where do you want to import that image? And what do you want to call it? Now, this thing can grow pretty big if you use it a lot. And I have my OS, my C drive on a solid state. I'm not going to use that. I'm actually going to use a completely separate hard drive. So I'm going to hit the browse. I'm going to go to my F drive, which is a third hard drive. So I'm going to say OK. And I am just going to, forgot to make the folder on it, call this GNS3 VM. OK. There we go. I'm going to do an import. And now will copy over the virtual machine, import in the settings, and we'll be ready to roll here in just a moment. So should not take very long. Once that happens, by the way, there's a little refresh down here that we're going to press during that installation wizard. And I would not do anything until GNS3 finds it. Don't power it on or don't touch the settings here. It should just be right to go. So, okay. It's like today, Junior. All right, here we go. You can do it, buddy. There we go. As you can see, there are 2 NICs. One's NATed to the internet. One is connected to the host machine. This is the one that actually talks to the GNS server. All right. We have a couple of hard drives here. And like I said, you might be tempted to allocate resources from this panel. Just don't. So it doesn't work that way. All right, so I'll go ahead and I'll minimize that. I'll go back to my GNS3 wizard that's been on hold. I'm going to hit refresh, and there you go. It now found it. Now it's here where you go ahead and you carve up your resources. So I have 4 physical cores, and they're saying, how many of your cores do you want to give out? I am actually going to, because I plan on using this a lot, give it 6 out of my 8, all right, to delegate. And also, I'm going to give it 24 gigs of my 32 gigs. So it'll leave 8 for me just to run Windows. And then I'm going to give it the rest to GNS3 so I can make some pretty amazing topologies. So right away, I am going to do a calculator because I am just not that smart, guys. I'm not. And I'm going to do the whole 1024, right? And I'm going to times that by, let's see, what is that, 24? All right, so that's how much I'm giving it, 24,576. So 24,576. Nice, clean, even number there. So I'm going to hit next. All right. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's an actual summary that happens. Oh, there you go. We're going to say OK. It's going to power it on. And this is a Ubuntu machine that's going to be doing all the KVM virtualization for us. So it has this little splash screen. There it goes, a little bug that's about to get his life ended. So let's flip back to GNS3 here. All right, we're going to hit finish. And it says, OK, great, you're good. Let's add your first machine. All right, so I'm going to hit cancel. All right, this is what it looks like when you first load up a project. And as you can see, it's trying to save my projects in a separate folder. It's trying to save it on my C drive, and I wanted everything to be essentially on my D drive. So I am actually going to hit cancel here. So nothing's going to happen, but I am going to come up here and I am going to go to preferences. So edit preferences, and this is just me being picky. And as you can see, there's some folders here for config files, symbols if you want to change the pictures on your machines, and also where to store your projects. I am simply going to make sure this all stays on the D drive because I don't like applications that go into 20 different places to store different files. All right, because that normally would be in project files. All right, I'm going to hit apply, and I'm going to hit OK. And just to make sure it's going to be all right, I'm going to go to my D drive. I'm going to go to GNS3. All right, and there is no projects folder. So I'm just simply going to right click. I'm going to say new folder, call it projects, right click, new folder, call it symbols. Oops. Oh, looks like it already has the symbols. That's good to know. And the third one was, I already forgot, configs. So let's make sure that there is a config. All right, configs, awesome. All right, so great. It's all going to be in one spot. So I just wanted to go ahead and double check that. So, all right, it looks like the VMware is good to go. It got an IP address of 192.168.174.128, and I have a virtual adapter from VMware. So if I come here and I go to my network settings, all right, and I go to change adapter settings, you'll see that I have this VMware network adapter. And if I right click this and I hit my status and hit details, all right, it's living on the same network as the VM machine. Okay, so if you want to like SSH into GNS3, or even if you want to FTP into it, you can use it using that IP address and get the files in and out of your virtual machine. So other than that, that's it. I can just close out Workstation, have it run in the background, and forget about it, and just start using GNS3. So let's go ahead and do something very simple here just to test that it's working. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to say New Blank Project. Nice. It's saving it on the D drive like I wanted to, and I'm going to call this Test. And it comes with some machines already here. So I'm just simply going to make a switch. Right? Now it says, where do you want to make the switch? Do you want it here or the GNS3 VM? Going forward, everything's going to be done in that VM. Okay? There we are. And then it also comes with some virtual PCs. So here we go. So there's PC1. And these things are just enough to get an IP address and test connectivity, maybe do some trace route or some DNS lookups. All right. But as you can see, I'm using this wiring tool here to click, pick a port, click, click a port. All right. And then I'm going to hit play. Now it installs PuTTY by default. So, but you can actually have your own terminal emulator. But I'm going to double click here, and it is consoled into that PC1. And I'm just going to do a IP, and it's done a little bit differently here, but IP 10.10.10.10 the /24. All right. And then I'll pop over to my second PC here, and I'll just give it an IP address of 10.10.10.11/24. All right. Okay. Here we go. And now I'm going to ping through GNS. Ta-da! There you guys go. So as you can see, my PC1 is going through the switch and finding PC2 just fine. And I'm pretty sure I can ping the other direction. All right. There it is. Not too bad. So there you guys go. That is how to set up GNS3. We have not done anything to get any kind of appliances in here. So the next video is going to be getting the right VM for the Fortinet. All right. And then also it's going to be another video after that about installing appliances in here. So if you're running any other vendor, there's a good chance that you can load them in here too and start using them in your configurations. So that's where I'm going to end it. I'm also going to keep on going here for a moment, and I'm going to make sure that my Wireshark is working. Now it asked me to reboot the computer, so that might be a factor, but I'm going to try it anyway. So to do a packet capture, we just right click anywhere that there's a connection, hit start capture. All right, we're going to hit OK. It should load up Wireshark, which it did. I have not gotten an error yet. So, and these machines are not noisy like Windows machines. They're not sending out broadcasts for, discovery protocol. So I'm just going to do that ping again, and I'm going to make sure that Wireshark is eating it up. So here we go. All right, look at that. And Wireshark, even with that weird little error that I got, is just capturing those packets just beautifully. Look, isn't that great, guys? Oh, that's the bee's knees right there. Okay. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm sorry that it stinks. Okay. Maybe one day I'll do a professional recording with sound effects and things like that. But at least you saw how we went from beginning to end setting up GNS3, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.